Hello, hello. I'm Debbie Danford from craftiercreations.blogspot.com. Happy Tuesday. So this week I am showcasing, and of course here it is, the Happy Place stamp set. This is in the mini catalog, and this is a $1 million seller stamp set. Sharon Armstrong designed this one. And this is also going to be my bonus class that I'm offering for my monthly club. So if you're part of monthly club, you can add this on. If you're not part of monthly club and you're interested in monthly club, there'll be a link below where you can find out all the information on my monthly club. Just real quick, it's $39.50. You get the supplies to make 5 projects, 2 of each. And you usually get somewhere between $15 and $20 in product included in your packet, and that includes shipping also. Everything ships out on around the 25th of the month, and I have a private Facebook group that I share everything, the PDFs and the videos that I do each month. Not for bonus class, just for the monthly club. This stuff always gets emailed out to those that sign up for it. I let my monthly club subscribers vote each month on what bundle they want to pick. So I usually give around 5 choices, and the winner is what we usually go with. So that way you kind of have a say-so in what bundle we might be using each month. So if you have questions about it, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'd love to have you join my monthly club, trying to grow those numbers out there. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. And I have some ideas of what I'm going to do for Thursday already for this class. Okay, now one thing I forgot to do is grab the piece of designer series paper we're using. So let me just pull that out really quick. So I'm using the Misty Moonlight from the Neutrals pack. And if you're not familiar with these, there's front and back here of each color. And then the other design is, and let me just go to the Misty Moonlight, it'll just be easier. The other design is leaves on one side and this like striped background. So we're going to use this pattern here, but in Misty Moonlight. So it's going to be this piece right here. And as you can see, I used it on both cards, but in a different way. So let's go ahead and cut first. So what I'm going to do is bring in my paper trimmer. And this piece here is 3 3/4 by 5. So we're going to cut that first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut 5 here. And then this piece right here, I'm actually going to trim down because we're going to use this on the inside. Now, if you want these smaller, you could trim them a little more. Normally I do a little bit smaller, so we may trim them again. We'll see. Okay, so there's our 5. Then we're going to go 3 3/4. And then this is going to be our piece for right here. Now, one thing I'm noticing with this one, it looks a little, oh, you know what? Debbie. This is Night of Navy, not Misty Moonlight. That's why it looks a little bit darker. So let's pull out the correct color. Here it is. Here's our Misty Moonlight. Guess I'll be doing one in Night of Navy too. Okay, let's do that again. See, we make mistakes too, and I just keep rolling with it. I'm not going to get all worried about it. Okay, so we're going to cut it at 5, and then we're going to cut this 1-inch strip in half. And again, if we want those thinner, we could do that later. And then this will be the 3 3/4. And then this is our piece for right here. Okay, so this is how I came up with how to use the whole 6x6 piece to make 2 cards. Okay, so let's do, why don't we do this one over here first? So let's bring in that packet right here. And I have a piece of basic white that is not cut correctly. So I'm going to have to trim a piece down here. Let me see, what did I cut wrong? 4 3/4 by 2 1/2. Yeah, this might, oh, I went with 4 1/2. It might, actually, I'm going to still go with it. I'm going to try it. I think it'll still all work. So the original piece here, this one is 4 3/4 by 2.5. I have cut this one 4.5, but I think it's still going to work and I think it'll be fine. So we're going to try it. Okay, so here's our happy stamp. Now, the way I did it, and I'll be honest, I really haven't looked at how, I know Sharon Armstrong did a whole bunch of videos showing how she used it since it was her stamp set. I have not watched any of those. I'll be honest, I just saw them pop up, but I did not have time to watch them. So we are inking the whole thing up with Pool Party. And then what I'm going to do, because I know you can use your dauber, which I did not do this time. You could use your Stampin' Write markers. Do not use your Stampin' Blends. In this case, we're going to do a little stamping on 2 colors on it. So I inked the whole thing up with Pool Party. Okay, that's already inked up. Then the bottom half here, and it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm just inking up with the Misty Moonlight. Okay, just like that. And then I'm going to huff on it just a little bit to get moisture back in there. And then I'm going to stamp, and I apologize if my head gets in here. I have a little bit of a glare. I'm going to stamp Happy. Woo! This one even turned out better. It's a little bit darker, I think. Or maybe it's the size. I don't know, but I like it. And then I put birthday. Now, to bring the stamp set back in, we have some great phrases. Happy retirement, happy place, happy life, happy days, happy times, happy birthday, happy for you, happy y'all. Y'all? She's from Texas, so at least I think she is. Pretty sure she is. Anyway, I'm inking up the birthday in Misty Moonlight, and I'm going to stamp that right below the happy. Just like that. Easy peasy. Okay. I'm going to slide these out of the way so I don't drop anything in it. Okay, so now let's go ahead. Let's bring in this and this. And we are also using a piece of ribbon, but I don't think this piece is going to be big enough. No. So this is the combo pack. It's actually, I just opened it so I can tell you. It's the Misty Moonlight and White combo pack, 1/4 inch ribbon. I love this ribbon. It comes with the white too, and it's great because the width on it is just perfect. It's one of my favorites. I wish we had more in other colors like this. All right, so let's bring in our adhesive, and we are going to add some adhesive to the Designer Series paper. Now, the Designer Series paper piece is 3 3/4 by 5. And we are going to layer it on a piece of basic white that's 4 by 5 1/4. And I'm just putting this right down the center. And I'm not measuring, I'm just eyeballing it. Now, if you don't have Misty Moonlight ribbon, you could put a piece of Misty Moonlight cardstock right down the center. I had thought about doing that too. But then I thought, let's add some ribbon. Okay. And then we're going to attach this to that 4 by 5 1/4 piece of basic white. And then this gets attached to our basic card base, which is the 5.5 by 8.5 scored at 4 1/4. Okay. So then let's attach this to here. Simple. Both of these cards are very, very simple to put together. Then what we're going to do is pop this up with dimensionals. And I'm bringing in the big daddies for this one because it's a bigger space. So let's go ahead and use the big ones. And let's put one more right there. I know I use a lot of dimensionals. My theory is you don't want to have a saggy card. All right, so there's that. And then we're just going to attach this right here. Now I put it directly in the center. If you wanted to put it up towards the top and add a little extra half bow or something with your ribbon, you certainly could, but I kind of like it just like that. And look, it still worked even though I cut it wrong. This is our inside piece. And just to show you what I did here, see there's our strip. This one is wider. I'll just go with it for this one anyway. Maybe the other one will trim down a little bit and put 2 of them. And whoa, I was just going to say, now I was just using this glue, so I know there's glue in it. And of course now I just have glue everywhere. Luckily, I have a paper towel right here. So we're going to wipe some of that off. All right. Hopefully I don't make a mess here just trying to attach it now. I know not everybody likes to use the glue. It can get on your fingers, but you just wipe it off. I don't worry too much about it. And then we're just going to trim this little excess off. Now, mine's a little wet right now because I did put too much glue squirted out. So I'm going to be very gentle adding some adhesive because it'll move on me if I'm not careful till it dries. So I'm kind of holding down that corner where I know the strip is. And then I'm going to flip this over and attach it right here, just like that. Okay, so there's that. Let's get all the glue out of them. And I have a little more seeping out. That piece won't come back off. We know that, right? Okay. Then we can fold this and burnish it. And there's our first card right there. Isn't it so pretty? But wait, we are not done. Debbie forgot. Blingity blings. I took the Misty Moonlight Stampin' Blends. Now, I used the light. I think either one would work. Let's use the dark this time just to mix it up just a little. I don't think we're going to notice too much of a difference. There's 1, 2, and I just put 3 of them on here. 3. And these are our basic rhinestones, or rhinestone basic jewels is what they call them. But yeah, one of my go-to favorites when we don't have a color you're looking for, because you can color those up really quickly. Okay, project number 1. I'm going to show you 2 today because it's so quick and easy. Now let's bring in the other one. Bring in my packet. Okay, so here's what we had left over. We had the strip for the inside that we might trim down, and we have our piece that's probably like 2¼ by 5. Okay, now I have embossed a piece of 4 by 5¼ with the Plaid 3D embossing folder, I think it's called. Isn't that terrible? I can't even remember now. I know it's Plaid something, but I think it's Plaid 3D embossing folder. I apologize for that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to bring in the happy. I'm going to ink it up. And I didn't clean it because the pool party was the other color on it, and I don't think it's going to make a difference on here. If you're worried about that, you certainly could, clean it first. I am going to stamp right directly in the middle here. And there's our happy. And then I used the 1 7/8" circle punch and the 2" circle punch, and I just stamped days. Happy days. Okay, there's that. I'm kind of setting those out of my reach so that I don't drop something accidentally on my stamps. Okay, then we're just layering the white. Oh well. On this one, I did take the white piece and do the direct to paper, but you can't hardly tell. Can't hardly tell on that one. I did it on that one too, and I missed it. If you want to add a little texture to it, you can take your circle, and you could do the same thing with this one, which I did it here too, but you can't hardly see it now. It kind of blends in with the background, so I guess it doesn't really matter. But you just take your piece and you just do the direct to kind of roll it like this when it's the circle. But I've already attached it, so we're not even going to worry about that little step. But it is nice to do that sometimes, so keep that in mind. All right, we're going to take our embossed piece. Remember, this piece is 4 by 5 1/4. This is going to go up here, just like that. So let's go ahead and add our adhesive. Just think of the color combinations you could do with this designer series paper, because you have half of the pack is this pattern here that you could easily stamp on. All right. We're going to put that piece right there, just like that. And then we're going to add adhesive to this piece. And usually on a 3D embossed piece, I'll use glue, but I had already started to use my adhesive. Only because sometimes with adhesive, it just doesn't stick as well. That you really need that glue to get down in there. Then what we're going to do, I almost attached it before I was ready. I'm going to add a little piece of that Misty Moonlight ribbon right across right here. Just like that. Okay, and then this will go on your card front. Right there. Okay, so we've got that going on. I have a little scrap piece already left over from before. It was what was left on the roll of ribbon when I did the other one, and it'll work perfect for right there. So let's go ahead and trim that up. That end's already trimmed. Yay. Okay. And then we're going to take this piece here and we're going to add a couple dimensionals. Always got to pop up our greeting if we can. And I'm using the small ones this time. And I'm just putting 3 at the bottom, 3 at the top, because I don't want to put it in the center where the ribbon is, because dimensionals don't like to stick to the ribbon. It kind of makes it floppy a little bit, unless you glue your ribbon down. And we don't need to do that. So I'm putting that about right there. And it's okay if it comes up on the Y a little bit. It did over here too, which I didn't even realize it till I was looking at it now. Okay, and then let's color again, and we'll use the dark again. So I put one big one in the center and then 2 of the little ones. That's what I like about these, is even the big ones aren't that big, and they work great on cards. Looks like I need to get some more sticky. Or this one might be empty. It might be. Okay, there's one in the center there. I love our Take Your Pick tool, but I think mine might be empty. And there's our 2 little ones on the side. And then we will go ahead and attach our piece for the inside, but I am going to trim this one down. I'm going to trim it in half, and we'll just add 2 little strips. Why not, right? to make it a little different. Now, if you wanted, you could add them this way, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to add, hopefully not get glue everywhere. Okay, there's one. If I can get it lined up, Debbie. And I actually might just do the one. I was thinking I might do two and leave a little gap. I think I will. What the heck? I already have it, right? So let's just use it. But now we've used up the whole piece of 6x6. We don't have any little straggler left over, which I think is awesome. Because sometimes we end up with little pieces left over and then we're like, oh, we'll use that on the next card. And then you move on to something else and you end up with all these little tiny little pieces left over. But we used it all. And then add our adhesive to the back. Okay, flip this over, and you notice I work in a flat surface. I don't burnish and fold my card till I'm done at the end, unless it's like a fun fold that you've got some things you need to do and need to pay attention to, like where things are going. But basic cards, I fold it at the end. And look at that. Isn't that so cute? I love it. I just love how this turned out. I can't wait to play with this use your words, Debbie. I can't wait to play with this set some more to see what else I can come up with. Like I said, I'm going to be designing for my monthly club. And then I'll be back again on Thursday with another video showing something else with this one. Don't know what yet, but something will come to my mind. I'm sure of it. Anyway, I hope you guys all have a great day. And please don't forget to like, follow, and share. I truly appreciate all the new followers I've been getting out on YouTube. And I also share my YouTube video out on my Facebook group, Craftier Creations with Debbie, on Facebook and YouTube. It's the same name for both places. I kept it really easy. So if you don't follow me in both places, you might want to follow me in both places. That way you don't miss out on anything I post. And if you're not on my email list, it would be a great way to keep up with any classes, sales, promotions, Stampin' Up's doing anything that's going on. That's how I usually communicate. Most of that is all via my email list, and then it gets posted also on my Facebook group. So don't forget to follow all of those. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me today, and I will be back again on Thursday. Hope you guys all have a great week, and I'll see you on Thursday. Bye, guys.